Hello and welcome back to Critical Rocket, and today we're going to be looking at the biggest, baddest, and probably most iconic of the Innisphere mechs, the Atlas. Anyone who's into the lore know that this was specifically designed by General Kerensky himself in the liberation of Terra, and what a fantastic job he did with it. Now, I'm not a particularly skilled assault pilot, but I have to admit I do like running the Atlas. It's not for the 100-ton thing, it's the fact that it looks so damn good. It's impressive at all distances, it's intimidating, and you know, even by default, it's got a pretty damn good weapons loadout. This is the DDC version. It isn't exactly the tabletop one, but I felt like I should have the DDC for the time being, just because of its team effectiveness. So this one is pretty much running exactly what the DDC normally has. I've slotted a bit more extra ammo in for the AC-20, the LRM, and the SRMs, and I think I upped the engine size a little bit, so it could go a touch faster, but obviously you're still 100 tons, you're not going to be belting around the map. I think I'm running at about 50, 55, something like that. It's not really fast, but it's a decent speed. As you see, you just tower over the buildings there. Much like the Thunderbolt and even the Summoner in the Clan Mech area, you are on the left side, I think, of the head. It's one or the other, but either way, you're off center. So you have to take that into account when aiming and lining up shots. It's not so bad for firing your AC-20, but you have to be aware sometimes that your LRM launcher and your SRM launcher, which are on your left side, can sometimes hit buildings or friendlies who may be just ahead of you. So always keep that in mind when you're firing, and you also have to keep in mind that the arms are where your lasers are mounted, so when you fire, your arms are slightly lower down as well. So it's not the most useful in a sort of built-up area for combat, the Atlas. I've actually found the Atlas is best used in the middle of a group to sort of push a charge, or to be not front and center. It's not the tip of the spear, because I don't think it's got the speed or even really the weapon set to back it up, but what it does have is a crap ton of armor, and it does have weapons for all ranges, and thus it can fight all targets regardless of range and regardless of weight. Obviously the big disadvantage the Atlas will have will be in speed, where it can be quickly worn down by light and medium mechs that use terrain to their advantage, or just sheer speed to keep behind you. So it's generally not wise to run off on your own in an Atlas. It might be tempting because you're in the heaviest mech available to the Innisphere, but this is much like the Direwolf and the clans. It's powerful, and you can make some really, really nasty builds of it, but it's not the kind of thing you want to be the first to fight in. You want to get in there nice and slow, wait till the fight starts, and then you bring your weapons to bear, and then you start picking targets, or you start opening people up, and the rest of your team finish them off. And if used well, a DDC, or just a standard Atlas D, is incredibly good at that job. Obviously in the DDC, specifically your left torso is where your ECM is housed, so you will become an immediate target by anyone who can see you to knock out your ECM. The downside of this is obviously your LRMs and SRMs are there, and two of your medium lasers in your left arm will be ripped off completely as soon as that's gone, leaving you down to two mediums and an AC-20, which isn't a bad loadout, but it severely reduces your range damage capability. So yeah, again, you don't want to be the first to fight in this thing. You definitely want to wade in. As you can see in that video, I didn't chase the Stormcrow. I just hit what I could, and I'm just providing ECM for anyone who's near to me. And then we've got the Cicada who pops over. He wishes he hadn't.
Target acquired.
And that's what, as an ECM mech, this applies for the lights and the medium. I think it's medium. Yeah, medium. I think there's only one medium with ECM in the game at the moment. But it applies that you need to act as a bubble. You need to act as a little shield of the team. Oh, yeah. There we go. Took him down. So you need to provide that cover, because that's an ECM mech's role. And as far as the example of protecting your players, the DDC is the best example of doing this. I think I get trapped here because I'm outranged by clan mechs, and yeah, I start taking quite a pounding. But I think this is a great example of just how hardy this mech is. It's getting hit by PPCs, lasers, Ultra ACs, probably LRMs as well, and I'm not opened up yet. There we go, there's my left torso, which means I might have just lost my ECM. But at this point it doesn't matter, just you've got to keep in there and you've got that staying power. I mean, even the Warhawk will run from an Atlas. I just end up stuck behind this building. I have to admit, at the time of playing it, I was sort of like, oh crap, I'm gonna die. Which would have been fine because I would have got an achievement if that was the case. But sadly, no. Yeah, trying to push through. There we go. I get a bit safer. Once you lose your ECM as a DDC, that's when you start playing it like any other Atlas. I mean, if you haven't lost your left torso, you still get your weapons be opened up. That's the point where you do start acting a bit more like a tank and just get in there and do damage, even if it means getting dropped. Because at that point, either your team's winning and you're in a good enough position that you can just plow forward anyway, or you're on a losing slide and you may as well go out fighting. But up until that point, you are vital to keeping the rest of the team alive. There is like a morale thing. If a DDC gets killed early on, I think it's a big hit for players because they just think, well, there goes our ECM, we're screwed now. Plus we lost a 100-ton mech. I'd like to say that it was them focusing specifically on me. Trying to kill me might have been part of why I won this round, but yeah, you can see how torn up I am with the holes in the back of the armour. It's really nice animations. I was still impressed with PGI's work in that regard. I have to admit, it probably isn't the most badass kind of Atlas video out there. I will try and maybe create one for the standard D variant, which is the original technical readout build, and I will try and get that one uploaded at some point, because I think that one, because of the ECM not being in it, I think it has 4 mediums instead of the 2 like this one has. I'd much rather run that version. It's just at the time this was the only Atlas I was running. But I will probably try and do a proper Atlas D video, so it'll be the first mech I do 2 videos for. I wouldn't want to make that a precedent though, because trying to do movies for every variant out there would be time consuming, to say the least. And I don't imagine everyone wants to see virtually the same video again and again and again, so. But I feel I have to do it for the Atlas to really do this mech justice. But this round's wrapping up now, just coming up to the end of it. Again, this pretty much marks the end of the Assault series, and maybe even the end of the Inner Sphere series until they start releasing more mechs. So thanks for watching. I will try and come up with some new video types in the future. But until then, thanks very much for watching. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed. Any comments, any suggestions, just drop me a line on here on YouTube. And again, have a good week, folks.